All right, today we have a story out of the Midwest, not Oklahoma though. Our other favorite O state, Ohio. This one from the Tribune Chronicle. The marijuana backers outraise opponents. The organization backing the state issue to legalize recreational marijuana for use by adults in Ohio outraised the opposition group by more than a 3-to-1 margin. But the money raised for the issue pales in comparison to what was collected for the abortion rights constitutional amendment, the other state issue on the November 7 ballot. In the pre-general election reporting period, which goes on from June 3rd to October 18th, the Coalition to Regulate Marijuana Like Alcohol, which is backing the recreational marijuana issue, raised $1,186,731.80. Of that amount, the Marijuana Policy Project of Washington, D.C. organization gave $275,000. The the Policy Project is the largest organization in the country focused on marijuana policy reform. The coalition collected nearly 800,000 from statewide marijuana companies for those affiliated with those companies in the pre-general period. The coalition also received $152,191 in kind contributions from Ohio Organization the Ohio Organizing Collaborative, located in Youngstown for employee salaries, contractors, and consultants, and for campaign supplies and literature. The Ohio Organizing Collaborative's mission includes economic justice, criminal justice reform, which includes drug policy reform, and structural democracy reform, according to its website. During the pre-general period, the coalition spent $818,389.23, with $600,378.90 going to a Cambridge Communications LLC of Columbus for digital advertising, consulting, campaign literature, and yard signs. It also paid $60,000 to Battleground Strategies LLC of Columbus for consulting. In its previous report, which included the first 6 months of the year, the coalition raised $2,957,000 with the Marijuana Policy Project giving $101,375,000 giving it away. It spent $3,031,078 during the first half of the year, with $3,006,250 going to Advanced Micro Testing Incorporated of Dallas to collect signatures on petitions to get the issue on the ballot. Neither the coalition nor the opposition group Protect Ohio Workers and Families listed purchasing times for television or radio commercials, which are typically among the highest expense for statewide campaigns. Protect Ohio didn't file a designation of treasurer with the Ohio Secretary of State's office until August 9th. It reported raising $342,900 in the pre-general election period, with $101,000 from the Ohio Manufacturers Association and $100 from Angela Phillips, CEO of Phillips Tubes Group Incorporated in Middletown. Protect Ohio spent $258.77 with $68,000 to Causeway Solutions LLC of Metairie, Louisiana for data and research services, $47,149 to Majority Strategies of Dallas for public communications, and $33,000 to Castletown Media of Lake Forest Park, Maryland for video production. In comparison, Ohioans United for Reproductive Rights, the backers of the Abortion Rights Amendment, raised $28,743,897.38 and spent $26,222,260 in pre-general reporting period. Wow, that is a lot of money for abortion rights comparatively. Protect Women Ohio, which opposes the constitutional amendment, raised $9,940,049 and spent $9,100,000 in the pre-general period. The recreational marijuana proposal, known as Issue 2, would allow these adults to buy and possess 2.5 ounces of cannabis and 15 grams of concentrate. They could also grow up to 6 plants individually and no more than 12 in a household with multiple adults. The recreational marijuana proposal in Ohio is an initiative statute and not a constitutional amendment, unlike Issue 1, the abortion rights proposal. That means if Issue 2 passes, the Republican controlled legislature could make change to it. Recreational marijuana is legal in 23 states in the country. Allowable forms of marijuana to be sold if the issue passes include plants and seeds, extracts, drops, lozenges, oils, tinctures, edibles, patches, smoking or combustible product, vaporization, beverage, pills, capsules, suppositories, oral pouches, oral strips, oral and topical sprays, salves, lotions, and inhales, but I'm sure they meant inhalables. And that is the story. And this was, yeah, a lot about more about the money that they were raising and what they were spending it on, which is pretty interesting. But it going to show that people are getting really serious. That is 800K from the Ohio operators is quite a bit of money for them. I'm sure, maybe not a ton, but I mean that's quite a bit, and maybe it's gonna affect this vote somehow. So let's see how that goes. But guys, what do you think? I mean, what do you think of these numbers? What do you think of the money in these kinds of campaigns? Do you think it impacts the issue more than it does like an issue like abortion rights, which definitely has a little more of an impact on people and the way they vote? I'd love to hear from you guys.
Well, I find it interesting that they're comparing the two, the cannabis raise to abortion raising money, right? I mean, are they only doing that because they're the two things on the ballot? Are those the only two
I
things?
think that is part of the reason why, Todd. I would beg to assume that at least. But $800,000. Do we know how much of this money came from Nick Lachey?
Ah,
I mean,
wow.
at
Yeah.
least
Because
I,
that's the
half of it came from
question.
Nicholas Day.
I think we
The
need a
other
Freedom
half
of
came from
Information
John
Act to
Boehner.
find out how much money of this came from Nick Lachey.
I don't know,
Yes,
man.
from the lost 98 degrees money. And
Mm-hmm.
big shout out to Nick Lachey. Big shout out to John Boehner and
Yeah,
everybody else swagging in Ohio.
Definitely.
right?
Because
Swagging,
like
swagging.
how realistic is it that this will actually pass versus it getting vetoed because the government just doesn't want it?
Well, I mean, I
Could
think
we
it's
be seeing
important
the
for
same
it to
thing?
pass. It's important for it to pass. Ohio's a battleground state. It's a, you know what I mean. It sways a lot of. It's a very very important state in an electoral college election. I'll just say that.
What's your homeboy JD Pritzker think about
JD,
this? Or
you're thinking of JD Vance. You're
JD
confusing.
whatever
You got too many
JD Vance.
JDs going on up in your head. You know what I mean? I'm JB.
Hey
Remember that?
man,
Yeah.
hey
Hmm.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Ohio. I mean, they have a lot. They have a lot of thinking on this to do. I mean, let's flip the question. Is it good for the operators there, if this changes to adult use,
Yeah.
or should they stay medical for as long as possible?
No, they should
It's
not.
great for the operators,
Yeah, they should want to get adult use over there. I would
sure.
think, you know what I mean. And hopefully,
Well,
hopefully it's written in there that they can actually sell eighths now instead of having to sell tenths.
will Ohio turn into the new
It's,
Oklahoma?
they're
No,
selling
no
tenths,
chance. Yeah, they sell tenths. They're not allowed to sell eighths. They sell it in tenths. So it's like 2.3 grams when you buy it. Yeah,
right? Weird.
What?
yeah, yeah.
That is
Nicole,
so weird.
I'm not making this
And
up. This
do
is truth.
do
Should we
do
fact
they
check?
honor
Yeah.
reciprocity
No,
in Ohio?
no, no.
They might have medical reciprocity. They might have
They
some.
don't have no medical reciprocity in Ohio. Stop it.
They might. They
No, no,
might.
no. That's zero chance of that.
Oklahoma does.
Of course, Oklahoma does. Oklahoma has everything.
No, there are some.
Oklahoma city
What
process
do you
though is
mean?
like 2 weeks. It requires like you can't just come in
You
same day.
can't
Like
compare
they're
any
just not gonna
state
honor.
to Oklahoma
Yeah.
because Oklahoma is the loosest state of any loose state in the world. It's looser than New York.
Loosey goosey.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well,
Ohio, they could be
what?
maybe they're striving to become the Midwest, Oklahoma.
The New
Yeah,
York
it
of the
looks like this
Midwest.
abortion amendment
What
and
do you
legal
mean?
marijuana two things on the amendment
What's that?
to
What's
get
that,
voted on.
Nicole?
That's
My
It looks like the abortion amendment and
Mhm.
legalizing marijuana are the only two things on the ballot.
Yeah.
Like that's the only
That's all
thing that I see.
Yeah.
That's
that's all
crazy.
that matters in Ohio. You know, because
Yes,
Michigan is
so
popping, Illinois is popping,
right.
Indiana
And
is,
they all surround
you know,
Ohio. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, if you get an
Yeah.
abortion,
so
you should need a joint afterwards, right? Just to relax.